Hello, Warrior Katsuroisius. At least that's how I see your name being pronounced. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me in another one of these audio things. Anyway, I thought the best way to respond to your audio comment would be to give you one right back. It kind of makes us equal a little bit, even though you've already given me two. Um, so yeah, I thought maybe I could listen to your one, and well, I've already listened to it once, but listen to it and try to answer any questions you might have or add any of my own little input. I'll be pausing every once in a while to listen to yours to make sure I don't miss anything. First off, yeah, you sound pretty sick. I hope it's nothing serious. That's a lot of coughing. I guess it's probably getting pretty cold out there. It just started getting cold here, so I haven't had any time to get sick, and I have a pretty good immune system, I think, so it's hard for me to get sick. Um, but it's okay, I didn't mean I didn't mind the coughing or anything. It actually kept me in suspense, kept me wondering what you were gonna say next and all. So it's all good. So I guess we'll go in order of what you went in. Um, so yeah, the Tea Party one. I actually had that in mind for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but I always plan things way far ahead. That's why it's hard for me when I make a series, because I have like 10 pictures ahead in mind that I'm working towards. But I've had this one along with the jump rope one for maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. So it was nice to finally get it drawn. Let's see. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt that I couldn't have these colored, just because since I've started coloring things, I noticed how much better and atmospheric they look when they're colored. I kind of look at my black and white stuff, and it just looks ugly now. I'm not really the best shader with pencil. Um, but yeah, I kind of added stuff as I went along, like the whole, how how Pinky has a hat on, and how she has the little teacup balancing on her bumper, and even having the little Mr. Whiskers bunny thing sitting there. That was all. I just added it as I went. You might even notice that Violet actually has a bow on, because she freaking loves bows. But she has a bow on underneath the hat. Because originally she didn't have a hat on, and I decided to give her a hat, and I figured, a little girl, she probably wouldn't care. She'd just leave the bow on anyway, underneath it, so. um, I remember you asked if the silverware was supposed to be like real, like porcelain or whatnot. It kind of changed as I drew. Originally, it was just going to be a kid's playset. Then I started adding stuff, like the little jars of jam and peanut butter and the stuff like that. I'm thinking it's kind of a mix match, kind of like maybe her mom helped her set it up. Like the tray is probably a real tea tray, but the cups are probably plastic. It's kind of like a mix between real stuff and toy stuff. Like maybe she lost some pieces a long time ago or something. Um, I I always did think the cups were probably plastic though, just because she's a little kid and mom didn't want her breaking it and getting cut and stuff, and probably the kettle too, because you wouldn't want her to drop it and break it. They're probably not that cheap. Um, but probably the tray and the little glasses, little cups. What do they call them? Little trays under the cups are probably real. Um, but yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. She just kind of left the cup there on Pinky's bumper. It's like, yep, you're on your own. Find a way to drink it. And then it's kind of funny because you don't know if there's actually anything in the cup anyway to be trying to drink. But yeah, as a little last note, I was actually talking to Roller Wings about this on the other picture. I kind of got it set up that Violet's mom was a stay-at-home mom. I think that was kind of common back in the 50s and 60s, that the mom stayed home and the dad went to work and stuff. So she was kind of like Violet's caretaker or babysitter at the same time while she stayed home and did stuff. So all the whole big setup and everything she has out there in the driveway, her mom probably helped set that up, and then went back inside and did housework or something, keeping close eye on her, of course. But you know, I can imagine this would be going on, with Pinky trying to drink the stuff, and then her mom would just like pop out all of a sudden. Pinky would be like, "Oh my God!" and change into object mode all of a sudden for a second until she goes away. But yeah, that's that picture. Moving on. So yeah, car over. This was very funny. I don't. This one I don't think I had planned for very long. It just kind of came up while I was doing these, and well, no, actually the idea for it I had for a while. Cause I kept thinking how it's like a perfect opportunity. You got a little girl and you got a car, and how it would look really funny to see a car covered in makeup, and that's probably something a little girl would do. So I had that idea, but the actual picture and the layout and everything kind of came as I drew it and stuff. Um, I'm really glad that people seem to think that the overalls don't clash with her looks or anything. I guess looking at it done and imagining them maybe being pink like the ones you talked about, I guess that would probably work. Uh, but yeah, I really like her ponytails too. Like I said on one of these pictures, Violet's pretty fun to draw because I'm always putting her in different outfits and having different hairstyles like a little girl would do. They're always changing their looks and stuff because they're experimenting and all that girly stuff. So it's like she always looks a little different every picture I draw her in. She's like a little experiment almost. But I don't even know. The sandals is an interesting thing. I don't know what year they started doing sandals. I don't think they did it in the 50s, but maybe the 60s, 70s. I don't know. That'd be an interesting fact to find out. Kind of wondering about the what you said about the car anatomy. He said something about like it makes you wonder where her cheeks would be, but actually I wonder who would actually think of that or something along those lines. I was kind of wondering, are you hinting something? Are you saying it's weird that I thought about that? And you don't have to worry, I'm not offended or anything, but it made me kind of laugh because I was thinking like, what's she saying? Anyway, man, you totally almost make me want to redo the picture. That idea about her trying to paint her treads like fingernails, that is just so epic. And I was having a hard time with Violet thinking of how to have her posed because I had to have her off to the side so you could see Pinky's face, but I couldn't think of what she'd be doing over there. And yeah, I could totally see it. It would have given me another opportunity to have Pinky kind of doing a pose because she'd kind of have her wheel out, and accessible, like kind of holding it out like a girl holding her fingers out. That would have been epic, but I didn't think of that. I should come by you and suggest ideas with you. You might have better ideas sometimes. Um, you didn't say this stuff, but I guess I'll go ahead and say it. I was actually kind of glad that I was able to draw Pinky's whole body here. It's not very many times I get to do that, really. Well, most of it, not the whole thing. Uh, but that's probably one of the best times I've drawn her. She actually looks in perspective and everything, which is good. Got those big fins that she's got. um, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and yeah, actually, Pinky looks pretty horrifying. Actually, I think so. She looks like a drag queen, but that was kind of intentional because it's Violet doing it. She probably doesn't really know much about makeup and all that stuff herself, so she's kind of learning as she goes. But I think the actual cuteness of this is that Pinky just doesn't really care. She's just lets Violet have fun with it and doesn't really care if she looks horrible. But yeah. Okay, so on what you were saying about the scolding, I think I know what you're trying to say. You couldn't really think of the word when you were recording, but I think what you're trying to say is her doing that with Pinky and her mom's reaction to it, of getting upset about it, maybe it made her start thinking that what she's doing isn't normal. Like, I'm sure maybe because she's going to school, she's 5. I'm kind of thinking, if she talked about what she does with Pinky, at first she probably talked to other kids about it like it was just normal, and she probably got teased about it a couple times. I don't know. But that, and on top of her mom and all that stuff, um, yeah, I can see what you mean. That maybe it's negative reinforcement that, uh, but I don't know. I think, Violet and Pinky are pretty close together. I don't think, uh, that, that, that she could really turn her back on Pinky willingly. Uh, Especially because, she probably would talk to Pinky about it if she was upset, and Pinky would reassure her and all that stuff. It's really, the whole idea I had behind it was that it was a mental, chemical thing that happens, like, when you get a certain age, and I don't even know it's that, it's more social, really. I guess it is kind of what you're saying, it's social. It's like, whatever it is that makes kids stop believing in all that fairy tale stuff. You start turning cynical and what's the word? You need proof for everything before you believe it, and because kids don't do that. They don't just believe anything. It's just there's some line there where it changes, and that's kind of the whole idea I'm going behind. But I could say that'd be hard. Yes, all that stuff. But kind of like what you said about that maybe seeing Pinky in her object mode kind of changed Violet's mind about something. I've kind of broke the laws of the Brave Little Toaster world kind of with my drawings, because I've kind of started avoiding the fact that objects go into their object mode whenever adults are around. For the sake of the drawings, even if adults are around, I'll still show the cars with faces, kind of like they're still doing stuff in the background. Uh, like the first picture I drew with them at McDonald's. Pinky was probably in object mode, um, but for the sake of the drawing and having expression, I showed her with a face. Or I guess another way of thinking of it is maybe object mode only works to the adult. Like, it's not a real change. Like, nothing changes with the objects other than that they stop moving because they know something's around. But the whole their face disappearing and all that stuff is really just perspective. It's like, if you're a human, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see them without a face. But if you're a kid, you're going to see them with a face. It's not really a physical change like it looks like in the movie. It's a matter of perspective. Who's looking? Maybe, I don't know. Just because it seems like sometimes the objects in the movies, they go through the change before they even realize that someone's looking at them. It's like really fast, like it's beyond their control, or I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to draw Pinky in her object mode, just because even now I've still yet to ever draw her in it, so it'll be a new kind of look to draw. Um, Still kind of deciding what to do with her mouth, whether to make it just totally vanish and just use the 2 slits as her grill, or to make it her mouth turn into the bottom grill that you see in a Victoria, where it's just like a curved rectangle. Still kind of deciding what to do with that, but it'll be interesting. Very interesting. But I'm planning on doing that later, like I said in the artist comments, so I might not do the comic that you want me to do, but maybe. We'll see.